Well, today at 2:44 p.m. we received a 911 call for a report of a vegetation fire. At the time, reported by reporting parties of approximately 50 by 50 feet in the Lisa Woods Canyon, which is behind this neighborhood between us here and the city of Laguna Beach. The fuels that we know are extremely dry from years of lack of rainfall. We're just a hotbed for the fires we're seeing right now. So combining that with the winds we had, just normal winds coming in offshore, blowing onshore, with the fuels going uphill, just in alignment to have this fire grow. And firebrands start shedding, and these firebrands landed here in the neighborhood. So we have huge commitment of resources out here, as you can imagine, on the ground and in the air. Firefighters down in the canyon where the original vegetation fire began, and obviously a great number of resources up here in the community. So what we're doing right now is mitigating the fires that we have here on a house-by-house basis and trying to prevent what we call house-to-house ignition, basically the fire spreading from one home to the next, while also keeping the fire contained beneath us in the canyon. So yeah, we're up here, we're part of this community. You know, many of us live and work here as well, so these are our fellow community members. So we're proud to be up here, and we're hard at work to defend the lives of property, and we're sorry for the fire damage has already come through, damage some of the homes. I don't have much information on that yet. We're going to have what's called damage assessment teams come through at some point and start to do a formalized process to assess that. So at some point we'll be able to get you some numbers in terms of damage and the last report we got from overhead aerial resources was approximately 195 acres. We're going to update that again in the morning if there's any changes. But we do have overhead aerial resources that can use basically night vision, heat-seeking resources to identify the pattern of the fire and map it out for us. I do not, and I hesitate on that because those damage assessment teams, that's what they do. And when they get out here and go house to house, because damage to one home might be very significant, damage to another might be very minimal. They need to all be documented appropriately and included in that damage assessment. So at this point, I don't have that, and I probably won't have that until the damage assessment team does their part. Well, our priorities at any fire we go to, whether it's residential, structural, commercial, wildland, it's always going to be life and property. So earlier today, getting everybody evacuated and working with our partners, the Orange County Sheriff and the OC Alert System to get people evacuated helps us address some of those life concerns. Our job in here tonight, right now, is obviously preserving property. So after that comes environment. Now, tonight we obviously have to do both. We can't ignore one at the risk of that growing while we're attending to the other. So we have resources on both fronts, the wildland front and the structural front you're seeing here.
And speaking of evacuations, have there been any new evacuations at all within the last few hours, or is it the same as from earlier?
I actually don't have the information on the latest evacuations or what the status of those are right now. However, Orange County Sheriff would be the best resource for that. Well, the best thing to do is keep track through social media. OC Alert, if you haven't signed up for that yet, definitely want to get an OC Alert. That's the major incidents notification system for the county of Orange. And that sends out warnings as they come along, updates as needed as well. And then through social media channels, OC Fire Authority and our partners in law enforcement and Orange County Sheriff. And we are in unified command with Laguna Beach as well, so they may have some information via social media in addition.
Any sort?
I currently do not have any reports of any injuries to civilians or firefighters.